Hello, everyone. Josh Weber here with Big Red Jelly, where we help brand, build, and grow businesses by combining human creativity with the power and efficiency of world-class digital tools and platforms. It's what we do. Um, Today's video is going to be a fun one, and it's something that I personally enjoy kind of reflecting on about every quarter or every 6 months. This is a topic I like to review in depth here at Big Red Jelly and see where and how we can improve. So it's 4 ways you can improve your customer experience to help accelerate your business growth. And we're going to jump right into it with some very interesting statistics. Okay, so number one, a Walker study found that at the end of 2020, customer experience will overtake price and product as the key brand differentiator. Another statistic, CX or customer experience also influences on the spot purchasing, as 49% of buyers have made impulse purchases after receiving a more personalized experience. Okay, so that's how important a positive customer experience is to the customer, right? Surprise, surprise. Yet it seems to be a topic that most business owners, especially I would say, just based on my experience, small to mid-sized business owners, it's a topic that we seem to kind of not prioritize, right? There's other things that come to the forefront, right? We're always talking about our sales, our close rates, our recurring revenue, our deal size, a number of things. But our customer experience maybe is something we like to talk about. We read about it. We enjoy receiving it, but we don't really put in the time, energy, and effort it takes to take the customer experience side of our business to the next level. So here are 4 very practical, very straightforward methods to improve your customer experience. Okay, so number 1, review and improve your onboarding and offboarding steps specifically. This is something that I personally like to review in depth at least once every 6 months, maybe even more than that, because we like to say here at Big Red Jelly that the onboarding process is the most important process here at Big Red Jelly. It supersedes sales, it supersedes the branding, the design, the team, any internal process. The onboarding process is your first impression with a customer or client, right? They've taken a risk, and there's always a little bit of doubt, or there's a small question mark when they've signed the statement of work, they've signed the agreement, they've paid the bill even, they're ready to move forward. Even if they're very confident moving into this relationship because they've received so many great reviews or referrals about your business, there's always that little bit of them that needs that validation. The onboarding process is where you can fill in that gap and say, guess what? You made the right decision. For example, at Big Red Jelly here, our onboarding process, there's certain milestones and checkpoints where when they are achieved, even though they might seem very minor, the client receives an email update and in some cases a text message if they've opted in. This really helps mitigate those, hey, what's next emails, or hey, what should I expect, or hey, are you working on this? I really don't like receiving those emails because it shows that the client at one point was wondering what should be happening. And ever since we've reviewed our onboarding process and our offboarding process, those emails have greatly reduced. In fact, that's really a sign to us that something's out of whack. If we get messages or emails about, hey, when's that next meeting? Or what should I expect next? Set the expectations and answer their questions before they even have them, because you know your process better than they do. And so you should be able to draw it out on a whiteboard, on a piece of paper. Okay, as soon as you have that onboarding call, what is it? Is it a video call? Is it a phone call? Is it a meeting? If you're a brick and mortar store, as soon as they enter in the line to order their food, right? That's the onboarding process that is starting there. We can apply these principles to any industry or business, right? So review your onboarding process, and I love to talk about the offboarding process, okay? So many business types, you might have an automatic offboarding process. Every business should, right? Even if it's a one-time service. Let's say you're an attorney, you have a client who comes to you and you've performed your service and now the service is done. Is that it? Let's say they won the case. Great. Okay. Let's say you're a mortgage loan officer and they closed on their house. Let's say you're a real estate agent and they found that perfect home. What's the offboarding process? You've completed your job. You're done. You're happy. No, there has to be an offboarding process. So this is both for positive and negative. Let's say it didn't work out. Your client's not a good fit, or they're upset, they want to go somewhere else, they want a refund. What is your offboarding process? It's way too easy to neglect this process and say, well, the deal's done, money's in the bank, let's move on. No, there have to be steps here. Let me give you some specific examples. You should ask for feedback. Just the simple act of asking for their opinion and feedback on how the process was, both positive and negative, shows that you care and that you are looking to improve, and you'll receive valuable information. Send a review request, right? Hey, please review us on these platforms that are important for my industry, my business. Another offboarding step for us is for bigger clients to have that call, to have that face-to-face interaction, video call, phone call, get that feedback. Offboarding points for us too are to look for opportunities to still provide value. So for example, we might have completed our work in the branding and building phase, but then we might ask them, hey, are you, now what, right? We've got recommendations and vetted agencies that we can refer you to then continue forward with what's probably going to be next for your business. Number 2, use digital. Surprise, we like to talk about digital. Use digital to put the customer first. So this goes along with point number 1. For example, something we learned the hard way is that a lot of our clients just don't use email as much as we do. Some of our clients were on their phone, right? Use a specific example. We had a client who was in the construction space, development industry, and he just was never at a computer, or very rarely, maybe once or twice per week, but he was always with his phone. He's on the go, he had his phone. So we implemented a process where we would share text message updates. Just small little updates that he could opt into or opt out of at any time, but he loved them. And that ended up being a really important tool for us to use for certain clientele that wanted